All right, strap yourselves in because we're going deep on a true sci-fi classic for this deep dive.
A film that, well, it pretty much redefined the genre, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. We're talking about The Terminator, a film that gave us not just an action icon, but a glimpse into a future where machines rule.
And it's pretty wild to think this was only James Cameron's second film.
I know, right? And to think he did it all on a shoestring budget?
Yeah.
I mean, those special effects, even today, they still hold up.
Yeah, it's really remarkable what he was able to accomplish with limited resources. A true visionary, that's for sure.
Okay, so let's jump right into it. That opening scene, it just throws you headfirst into this apocalyptic future.
Bleak, desolate, machines everywhere.
Yeah, it's a wasteland.
Yeah.
You immediately get a sense of the stakes, the sheer terror of what humanity is up
It's
against.
like, boom, right off the bat, you know this isn't your typical action flick.
And then, bam, we're in 1984 Los Angeles. Sun's shining, palm trees swaying. Life seems pretty normal.
It's such a stark contrast, right? This peaceful, almost carefree world, completely oblivious to the danger that's about to erupt.
And erupt it does. First, we have the Terminator, played by, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh man, that entrance.
I know, materializing out of thin air, naked, ripped, those piercing blue eyes, laser focused.
He's like a force of nature, just pure, relentless power.
And he doesn't waste any time. He's observing, adapting, acquiring what he needs to complete his mission.
Which is to find and eliminate Sarah Connor.
Exactly. And he's not letting anything get in his way. Remember that scene with the punks?
Oh yeah, classic. Your clothes, give them to me now. Chilling.
No hesitation, no emotion, just pure cold calculation.
It's like watching a predator stalking its prey, just waiting for the right moment to strike.
And then we have Kyle Reese, played by Michael Biehn, arriving from the future as well, but with a very different energy.
Yeah, he's definitely not as imposing as the Terminator, that's for sure.
But there's a vulnerability, a desperation in his eyes that immediately sets him apart.
He's clearly human, flawed, driven by something deeper than just programming.
And he's also on a mission to find Sarah Connor. But his is to protect her.
So right away, you have these two forces, both from the future, on a collision course with this unsuspecting woman.
And speaking of Sarah Connor, she's just your average young woman living her life, totally unaware of the chaos that's about to unfold.
It's interesting how Cameron sets her up in those early scenes. She's almost carefree, kind of naive, completely in the dark about her destiny.
Which makes the Terminator's pursuit of her all the more terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's literally going through the phone book, eliminating any Sarah Connor he can find.
Talk about relentless. It
Yeah.
just shows his single-mindedness, his unwavering dedication to the mission.
And that scene where he removes his damaged eye,
Yeah.
pure nightmare fuel.
I know, right? It's like peeling back a layer, revealing the machine underneath. No remorse, no pain, just cold, hard steel.
It's one of those moments that just sticks with you, It's like, okay, this is not messing around. This is serious business. It's like he's a programmed assassin, just going through the motions, no matter the cost.
Exactly. And as Sarah's world is being turned upside down, Kyle Reese finally reaches her.
And he's got a lot of explaining to do.
Right. Imagine being told that you're not just in danger, but that your unborn son is the key to humanity's survival.
Talk about a lot to process.
Seriously. She's being hunted by this unstoppable killing machine, and she doesn't even fully understand why.
But here's the thing. Even though she's scared, Sarah doesn't just sit back and accept it, does she?
No, she doesn't. She starts asking questions, demanding answers from Reese. She's not just going to be a pawn in this game.
She's starting to take control, to fight back against the forces that are trying to control her destiny.
And that's when we get that incredible shootout at the police station.
Oh man, that scene is pure chaos.
It's just nonstop action, the Terminator just mowing down everyone in his path.
But it's not just mindless action, is it? You really feel the tension, the desperation as Reese tries to protect Sarah.
And you see Sarah starting to realize that she can't just rely on Reese to save her.
Yeah, she's got to step up and fight for herself.
And she does. She
Yeah.
starts to observe, to learn, to participate in the fight.
It's a turning point for her character, She's not just a victim anymore.
She's becoming a warrior.
And even though they manage to escape, it comes at a cost. Now they're on the run, hunted by both the police and the Terminator.
It's a desperate situation, but it also forces them to rely on each other, to trust each other.
And that's when the relationship starts to deepen, right?
Absolutely. Thrown together under these insane circumstances, they find moments of connection, even tenderness.
Like that scene where they're making pipe bombs in the motel room.
It's such a bizarre juxtaposition,
Yeah.
this mundane task against the backdrop of this life or death struggle.
And it's in that moment that they really open up to each other.
Reese reveals his feelings for Sarah, showing her that photograph he carries with him.
It's a glimpse into his humanity, the part of him that's still capable of love and connection.
And Sarah, despite the fear and uncertainty, she starts to reciprocate.
It's a love story that's both beautiful and tragic, knowing what's going to happen.
And let's not forget, it's this love story that ultimately leads to the birth of John Connor.
Right. Their connection, born out of desperation and defiance, is literally the spark that ignites the resistance.
It's a brilliant move by Cameron, weaving this intimate relationship into the larger narrative of the future war.
And it adds another layer of complexity to the film.
Speaking of complexity, that scene in the motel room where they finally come together.
It's more than just a physical act, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's a moment of shared vulnerability, a brief respite from the constant threat.
It's also a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's still room for love and hope.
And for Sarah, it's a crucial part of her transformation.
It's not just about becoming a warrior, it's about embracing her role as a mother.
She's no longer fighting just for herself, but for her unborn son, for the future of humanity.
And Linda Hamilton really sells it, you know? You can see the determination in her eyes, the fierce protectiveness taking hold.
But we can't forget about Arnold Schwarzenegger's performance as the Terminator.
He is absolutely chilling, just a relentless force of nature.
His physical presence, that monotone delivery, the way he moves with such deliberate purpose, it's terrifying.
And it's funny because he was initially hesitant to take the role. He saw himself as a hero, not a villain.
But Cameron convinced him that the Terminator was more than just a bad guy.
That he represented something bigger, something darker.
And it's a good thing he did, because Schwarzenegger's performance is now iconic.
He completely embodied the role, brought a whole new level of intensity to it.
And the contrast between the Terminator and Kyle Reese is so striking.
Yeah, Reese represents that human element, the courage, the sacrifice, the willingness to fight for something bigger than himself.
He's flawed, he's vulnerable, but he's also deeply human.
And that's what makes his eventual sacrifice all the more meaningful.
It's a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, human courage and compassion can still make a difference.
So let's talk about that final confrontation, the showdown at the factory.
Oh man, the tension is palpable. Sarah and Reese, they're running out of time, running out of options.
And the factory setting is perfect for that climactic battle, all those clanking machines, flickering lights. It's like a character in itself.
And the sound design, the screeching metal, the Terminator's heavy footsteps, it all adds to the sense of dread.
And then that gut-wrenching moment when Kyle Reese sacrifices himself to save Sarah.
It's heartbreaking, but it's also a testament to his love and commitment.
He's willing to give his life for her, for the future.
And Sarah, she's devastated, but she's also fueled by this newfound rage and determination.
She's not running anymore. She's fighting back with everything she's got.
And that final scene, with her crushing the Terminator in the hydraulic press, is both triumphant and tragic.
She's won, but at a terrible cost. It's a bittersweet victory that really underscores the film's themes.
And that ending, with Sarah driving off into the unknown, pregnant with John Connor, it's just perfect.
It leaves you with so many questions, so much to think about.
It's a testament to James Cameron's vision, that he was able to create a film that's both a thrilling action spectacle and a thought-provoking exploration of complex themes.
The Terminator, it's more than just a movie. It's a cultural phenomenon that continues to resonate with audiences decades later. It really does make you think, like, what would I do in that situation?
Right. It's one of those films that just stays with you long after you've seen it. But, beyond the heavy stuff, The Terminator also gave us some truly iconic moments.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, who hasn't quoted "I'll be back" at least once in their life?
I know, right? It's become part of our collective vocabulary. And it's not just the lines, it's the visuals, too.
Yeah, the Terminator's glowing red eye, the leather jacket, the shotgun, it's all instantly recognizable.
It's like Cameron created this whole visual language for the film. And it's just so effective.
And you can't talk about the Terminator without mentioning the impact it had on the sci-fi genre as a whole.
Absolutely. It paved the way for so many films that came after it, exploring similar themes of artificial intelligence, dystopian futures, and time travel.
But there's something about the original that just can't be replicated, That rawness, that intensity, it's just special.
I think part of it is the time period it was made in. That Cold War anxiety, the fear of technology spiraling out of control, It really permeates the film.
Yeah, and it gives it this sense of urgency, this feeling that the stakes are incredibly high.
And of course, the performances are just phenomenal. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was born to play the Terminator.
I know, right? He just embodies that cold, machine-like presence so perfectly.
And Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, she's incredible too.
Yeah, her transformation throughout the film is just remarkable. You really see her evolve from this innocent young woman into a hardened warrior.
She's a survivor, through and through.
And the chemistry between her and Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese, it's electric.
Yeah, they really sell that love story, make you believe in their connection despite the insane circumstances.
It's what makes Reese's sacrifice all the more heartbreaking.
Absolutely. So, The Terminator is a film that works on so many levels. It's a thrilling action movie, it's a thought-provoking exploration of complex themes, and it features some of the most iconic performances in cinematic history.
It's a true classic, a film that deserves to be seen by anyone who even remotely enjoys science fiction.
So if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and check it out. And if you have seen it, maybe this deep dive has inspired you to revisit it with a fresh perspective.
And be sure to let us know what you think in the comments. We love hearing your thoughts and interpretations.
Absolutely. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics.
We've got plenty more movies, books, and historical events to explore.
So until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and keep those minds open.